let's get into Warren Buffett's portfolio and Paul's thoughts on them. Go ahead, Paul.
So guys, other YouTube channels will sit there and pull up this nice, cute portfolio of Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
And they'll repeat Warren Buffett statements till they're blue in the face.
Sounds good.
Sounds awesome. I was once in a panel of a real estate conference, and one of the panelists there kept saying, quoting Warren Buffett, and I was livid because literally he said, go where no one else goes. We invest in real estate where no one else is. His top 3 holdings: Miami, New York City, Atlanta, Georgia.
There's people there.
Not only people there, if I told you to pick the 3 hottest real estate the 10 hottest real estate markets, all 3 of those are in the 10 hot real estate markets.
I do see this too. People will quote Warren Buffett and then act in a exact opposite manner.
This is why, even though I've owned Berkshire Hathaway stock and had tickets to Berkshire Hathaway's annual event, I never go. Because I don't want to be around people who are faking it. They're going to sit here and go, oh, look at Apple. It's 47% of the portfolio. It's so great. It's wonderful. He sees a moat. Okay, but what's that moat? He talks about moat all the time. People talk about moat everywhere. Oh, I have a moat. What's your moat? I'm not going to sit here and BS you about this. Guys, I have no idea why he owns Verizon. Mm-hmm. Does that mean he's wrong? No. Does that mean we should turn off the channel? No. What it means is I have found a process that works for me, that will do very well for me. And if that process speaks well for you, I invite you to watch more videos.
This process is an extension of Warren Buffett's process.
Correct. But like all value investors, we all look at things differently. Mm-hmm. But fundamentally, we have the same beliefs.
So perhaps the viewer should be asking yourself, what did Warren Buffett see in these companies when he bought them, Paul?
So Warren Buffett looks for a few things. He looks for a moat. What does a moat mean? Now, I actually don't believe that the moat is as big a deal as the price you pay. But remember, I don't have Warren Buffett's money. Warren Buffett has so much money that for him to invest in companies for the long run, he needs to see some sort of competitive advantage that keeps them separate from everybody else. And if you look at all these companies, hey, does anybody know who Apple is? How many of you people are not using an Apple device? Even people who have Androids use Apple devices.
Yeah.
All the developers I know who hate Apple phones all have MacBook Pros.
Right.
They all use Macs to develop.
That's a moat.
That's a moat. Bank of America. Oh, my lordy. Bank of America.
It's incredible.
I do banking with Bank of America. They don't even have branches in my city. They don't even have branches here, and I still use Bank of America.
Me too.
Right? American Express. Guys, American Express is like the creme de la creme of all credit cards. Mo makes fun of me for not having an American Express. I used to, but I don't have one anymore. American Express, boom, Coke. Guys, there's only one person in the world. There's nobody in this world who drinks more Diet Coke Zero than me.
Yeah.
Nobody in this world drinks more Coke Zero than me.
And Warren Buffett says that the amount of Coca-Cola that's poured on a daily basis and the money they get off it is just, it's astounding.
And as he says, nobody's replacing Coca-Cola. I don't care if you even have Coke's secret recipe. You ain't beating Coca-Cola. They could give you a factory and say, here's a factory and here's our recipe. You ain't beating them. You're not going to do it. Kraft Heinz, guys. Every effing day. How many Kraft Heinz products do you use?
Paul, you put ketchup on your steaks.
By the way, he isn't kidding. I put ketchup on my steaks and my chicken. And people are like, are you a 12-year-old? Yes, I am. Now pass the ketchup. That's what I do. I love ketchup. Ketchup's the best. And I only eat yellow mustard. I don't do any of the other hippie mustards. It's only yellow for me. Moody's. Guys, this one is a... Moody's does ratings for bonds and other things like that. And he has a very intricate knowledge in that whole business. I don't know. I couldn't begin to understand it. Verizon. Guys, first off, the reason I don't like Verizon is because of debt. But he obviously sees some sort of high return on invested capital and big gross margins that allows the debt to be manageable, right? Me, I draw the line at debt on that level. It was like I was like, okay, it's not work for me. But Verizon. Would we now not agree that Verizon is the number one provider of telephone services in this country? Mm-hmm. Come on, it is. But one thing these all have in common, guys, is they sold for less than he thought they were worth. Now, if you agree with them or not, it's a totally different story. And Warren Buffett's going to miss a lot of investments. He always said he wishes he invested more in Microsoft and in Apple and all these other companies. But he's okay with errors of omission, which means he's okay if he misses a company that skyrockets. But he's not okay if these ones collapse. That's what he's not okay with. And they rarely do. Does he make bad investments? Absolutely. But across an entire portfolio of companies, he will do very, very well. And that's the Warren Buffett way.
I've watched speeches of him where he just keeps his eyes on companies for so long, and then he just waits for the right time to strike and buy, whether he's buying out a whole company, whether he's buying HPQ.
And not only that, you know what else he does that I love? People, I can't stand this. When people make me pitches and they have these Excel sheets with 30 sheets on them, he's like, listen, if you can't understand it on a piece of paper or a napkin, then you can't understand it.
A business, you mean?
He's very big on understanding businesses in a very simple way. The simpler, the better. If I don't understand the business, I don't buy it. Done. If I can't see where it's going to be, if I can't reasonably see where it's going to be in 5, 10, 20 years, I'm out. And he's okay with that. And in all these companies, he feels, or somebody in his staff feels, they can see where these companies are going to be in 5, 10, 20 years. And that's his goal.
How do you implement Warren Buffett's thought processes when you're buying businesses, real estate, stocks for our viewers out there? How have you been doing it for 20 years?
Well, it's all about understanding something that somebody else doesn't. What are they overlooking? What are they mispricing? The mispricing could be they think something has a worse future than you think it does. They could not be, especially in stocks. People don't look at financial statements. This company's dying. Well, they're dying. Why is their revenue and profit going up every single year? It's not. Well, yeah, it is, because they report it every single year. That's the Warren Buffett way. It's stripping apart what perception is versus reality. And you want to focus on reality. You want to use perception, other people's perception, to find the mispricings of reality. That's what he thinks he found in all of these. And this is portfolio. So don't go buy into the YouTube BS when somebody keeps sitting there saying, I want to be fearful and others are greedy and greedy and others are fearful. That's the dumbest thing, because they think that last month was fearful. That isn't even close to fearful. Fearful to me is you've got Billy next door saying, I ain't touching any of this stuff anymore. You've got people sitting there saying stocks are the worst investment ever. That's fear. Not, oh, I'm a little scared of Snowflake now, even though Warren Buffett owns Snowflake. That's fear. That's where you need to be greedy when others are fearful. And when it happens now where people sit there and say, yeah, you just buy stocks that go up a ton. When people are upset over 15% returns and not because they didn't get 30%, that's greed. That's when you should be fearful. That's the investing way. That's the Warren Buffett way.
So we're providing you an outlet. If you've been out there investing, just watching and getting interested in companies on YouTube or hearing them in the news, you might be shocked to learn that some of the most famous value investors that have done it the best over the past century, they don't quite do it like that. They want to find these undervalued companies, Paul, that Warren Buffett falls in love with. And so we want to be an outlet for you to help you find some of these underliers. We want to find the disconnect between a really great company and a really low stock price so we can buy low and sell high one day, not the opposite. Wouldn't you agree, Paul?
Absolutely. And it takes patience, but it takes a process. And that's what we're here to teach, guys. Keep watching our videos.